Today we celebrate the great feast of the Ascension, but what does this mean? To answer, Jesus' life on earth did not end with his death on the cross. For 40 days after the resurrection, Jesus would regularly appear on earth to his apostles to strengthen them. They were afraid after the crucifixion, believing they too would be arrested and killed. But with each appearance of the risen Lord, the apostles become stronger for the mission Jesus would give them. And this is what we are commemorating today. It happened 40 days after the resurrection, that final appearance of the risen Lord to his apostles before he departed the world to ascend into heaven to forever sit at the right hand of his Father. So right now, Jesus is seated in heaven at the right hand of God the Father, interceding for us. The Lamb is on his throne, dear friends, praying for us by name. This is happening right now at this moment in heaven. Your name is being spoken by the Lord. Does it get any more beautiful than this? Jesus still praying for us. Jesus still interceding for us, because it is not God's will that any of us perish. No clearer message is found in the Bible than this, that God desires to be with his children forever, that you and I will never ever come to an end. We will always exist forever, with God or without God, unending. There's your future. Unending. So Jesus ascends into heaven, and before doing so, he gives his apostles his departing words. It's his last chance to instruct them. And what does he say? Go and be my witnesses. Go show the world my love. Go be a light in a world darkened by fear and hatred and evil. In his book, He Leadeth Me, Jesuit Father Walter Zizek wrote about his experience as a prisoner in a Siberian concentration camp with other Catholic priests. And he writes, the key word of our priestly apostolate in the camps was the word witness. Not so much a matter of practicing or preaching and talking religion, but of living religion, living the faith. Many of the men could not understand the life dedicated to God in work and suffering and sacrifice, but they began by respecting it. And from that respect grew a sense of admiration and then of inquiry. It was not so much what you said, but what you did and how you lived that influenced them. These men, he went on to write, were wise in the ways of prison camps. They knew priests were the object of harassment by the officials, yet they saw that these priests refused to become embittered. They saw them spend themselves in helping others, in making themselves available to the sick and the sinning, and even to those who had abused them. It was this quality in the priest that led the other prisoners to seek a new relationship with God, reconciling themselves to the laws of God and to their conscience. Dear friends, the world desperately needs our witness. And we do not have to go halfway around the world to find people who need it. There are people in our own community who are lonely and heartbroken, people with physical needs, emotional needs, spiritual needs, and we are the people whom God has called to meet those needs. And when we acknowledge this truth, that our lives are meant to be of service to other people, then the church really becomes the church. So much so that the gates of hell can never prevail against it. The other day I was reading an article about a visitor from a third world country who traveled across the United States. He saw many natural and man-made wonders like the Golden Gate Bridge, the Grand Canyon, Niagara Falls, the Empire State Building. But he said that of all the wonders of America, what struck him the most was the large size of our garbage cans. Do you get it? We have so much stuff. Even our pets eat better than many people in the world. Our pets have more comfortable beds. Our pets are kept warm in the winter and showered with affection. There's nothing wrong with taking care of pets. But sometimes we forget, don't we? We lose perspective. We become petty over nothing. We forget how real Christianity calls us to live. We forget that in its beginning, Christianity was a crime against the Roman state, punishable by death. Families were split apart because of it. Brothers and sisters would often denounce each other to the authorities. That's our history. Jesus was crystal clear. If you find the world hates you, know that it has hated me before you. This is what being a witness will cost us. There will always be conflict. This world will always go after Christianity in protest because our creed disturbs people. If people don't oppose us from time to time, we're not living out our faith as we should. Going along to get along is one of the greatest sins of our day. Good example makes some people very uncomfortable. Our personal witness will always conflict with the values of the world. And Jesus uses the word world in reference to those things which oppose the gospel. Here they are: materialism, consumerism, which creates within us a false need for superfluous things, spending money unnecessarily, while other people lack even the essentials to live. The pressure of the world, which causes us to compromise our principles in order to attain to positions or prestige or popularity. The trend to prioritize the body and forget the soul and its need for the sacramental life. Daring to be more than just a Sunday Mass Catholic. The urge to get ahead at any price, regardless of who we hurt or how dishonest we become. All this places things above God. There will always be the temptation to pick what is easy and to avoid the harder things. Convenience becomes the standard by which we practice our faith. But the Lord's way is not the easy way. If they persecuted me, says Jesus, they will also persecute you. That's when we know we are giving true witness, when we are opposed by others. St. John Vianney once saw a petition going around his parish to get rid of him. They thought he was too holy. He took the petition being shown to him by a parishioner, said thank you, and put his own signature on it. Detached, but attached only to God. I close with an observation once illustrated by former President Jimmy Carter, who was a very devout Christian. In one of his books, he wrote that at one time he was very proud to say that he had made 140 visits over a 14-year period representing his church to tell people about Christ. In his 1966 campaign for governor of Georgia, though, in a 3-month period, he shook over 300,000 hands in order to get people to vote for him. The comparison struck me, he wrote, 300,000 visits for myself in 3 months, 140 visits for God in 14 years. And so with this thought-provoking illustration by a former president, let's conclude by getting practical, making this message practical and being honest. Can couples living together without marriage or who are civilly married give genuine witness? How long are we going to sit comfortably in this and not approach the church so that the church can help? Because the church wants to help, not condemn, but to help. Can a foul-mouthed gossip give witness? Shouldn't we strive to be more vigilant about the kind of words we use, especially in front of our children? Can we use more intelligent words instead of lazy, dumbing down language? Can we present ourselves to others in a more intelligent way in how we communicate? Can a greedy, materialistic miser give witness? Could we give a little more of our resources to make other people's lives better? Can we quit hoarding because none of it will matter in the least on our deathbed? That's when we want to be surrounded by people we have loved, not things we've hoarded. Is leaving Mass before the final blessing or missing Mass causing our children to miss giving witness? And then the following Sunday, coming up to receive communion without confession while our children are watching us do it? Treating the body and blood of Christ like nothing more than a piece of candy? These are the honest questions, hard but necessary ones, with which we ought to form our conscience about our ways of giving witness. And so may we all heed those departing words of Jesus as he ascended into heaven, the call to be courageous, to be honest, to be a genuine witness of the gospel. The comparison struck me, said the former president. 300,000 visits for myself in 3 months. 140 visits for God in 14 years. The Lamb, dear friends, is on his throne, praying for you and me by name right now, at this very moment in heaven. Amen.